So one of my reflections during this week's training vlog is about that battle I think we all have between consistent training and optimal training. Now I'm 3 weeks into this personalized marathon plan from Coros, and I'm starting to feel like the fitness is coming back, and the structure and the routine is coming back. I've been really reflecting on that question about what's better, optimal or consistent. You might go for a run every day like I do. It's probably not optimal, but I'm showing up every day. But we have such a tendency to overthink, overplan, overcomplicate. And that's the problem sometimes, I think, with things like off-the-shelf plans. They're great, they really are, if you're starting out and you're not sure what to do. But sometimes I think the more knowledge you get, either you've got to go with a coach who can listen to you and be in tune with your body and how you're feeling, or you've got to coach yourself, which effectively is what most of us do, and figure out what works best for you, and then just do it consistently. And a little shout out to the two running brooms who just experienced runners who aren't afraid to be open and honest about when things don't go right, or when they need to make adjustments. And in a video I did way back, I can't even remember which one it was now, they made a comment which I often think about when I'm struggling with a run or a workout, or just at a bit of a low point in a training plan. And I'm going to ruin the quote now, or ruin who said it, but it's something along the lines of, you know, a third of your runs you'll nail, a third of them will be okay, a third of them will be rubbish. But as long as you keep showing up, 2/3 of your runs are going to be good enough or better than good enough, and that's where you'll make progress. Now I'm nearly at the turnaround point for this run, so I'm going to finish today's workout here and pick it up again with you at the weekend. Okay, Saturday afternoon, and on the plan for today is about 14k, about an hour and 15 to an hour and a half of fairly easy running, with a few pickups towards the end of the run. So I'm doing this out on the trails just because it's nice, vary the terrain, get out in some of the woods away from the roads for a little bit, as the majority of my week is either on the roads or the treadmill. So to do trails in the light is a treat. This is the medium long run for the week. Tomorrow is the long run of about 28k. So I do need to take it easy today. Again, hence the trails, because it's softer and you can just hold the pace back a little bit more, be a bit more relaxed. You know, you don't have to jostle for pavement space. No hurries, going through gates and stuff. Just take it easy. Average at the moment is about 5:38 per kilometre. That will come down, so it's all good. And just continuing the conversation from Thursday's run and that question around optimal versus consistent. So this plan really has two key runs: a medium sort of length interval run and then the long run. Although optimal would be to do this run on a Wednesday, have the recovery, do my long run on the Saturday and the Sunday, it may not always be possible, and so I risk losing this run as a result. Okay, here she is. Beautiful straight section of trail now that I love. This run's gone quick. We're nearly 10k in, so I've got a little loop off the back of this trail. Take me into a place called Caesar's Camp, which is an old Iron Age fort. So we'll just scoot a little circle around there and then head back home. Okay, Sunday morning, and I've just done about 20 minutes. I'm about to scoot around and meet up with Dave for the bulk of today's run. So I'm just going to tag on to him and his Sunday long run. Okay, coming up to 18k completed here with Dave. How many minutes are you doing, Dave?
75 at this.
At 4:48 pace, yeah. So Dave's got about 10 minutes left, and I've managed to stay with him for all of those 75, which is good. Probably a touch over, well, a lot over, I think, what I'd be expected myself to be able to do in a marathon currently, but it's still been okay. Heart rate's been around 150. We have a side of the bed. I'm on the right, Dave's always on the left. So yeah, touch over what I think I'd be able to hold for a full marathon. Like, I'm starting to feel it now, but still good to put a slightly harder effort in. Heart rate's been around 150 to 152, which is pretty stable actually, and not as high as I thought it would be, which is a good sign that, you know, fitness is coming back. It's just the endurance aspect of it as well, and being able to hold that for a long period of time. But we'll separate as Dave will go off into a tempo set, what, like 3:45 pace?
Yeah, half an hour.
Half an hour, and I'll have about 10k left, so by the time he's finished that and we meet back up again, we should be okay to cool down together without sounding weird. Right. Alright, Dave's gone. 10k left. of my run now. So I'm doing a quite boring route today. It's just an out and back really, with some twiddly bits thrown in just to kind of extend the out and backness of it. So I'm going to do one more kind of out and back and then just loop around until Dave catches back up again. If I can hold under 5-minute K pace for this next out and back, I'll be really happy with that, as that'll be around 13 to 14 miles at a really strong pace for me. So I've talked about optimal training versus consistent training, and I think we all know, obviously you want a combination of both of them, but the reality is life isn't perfect, and so you just got to try and hit it as good as you can, as often as you can. And I think be kind to yourself when you can't quite nail every session, and just try and not let that happen 2 days in a row. That's kind of my theory anyway. As for this plan from Coros, so it's a personalised marathon plan. I did a little how-to for anyone that's interested on how you can set that up, and I did this because I didn't have a long period of time in between my sort of earlier marathon this year, which I didn't do, and this one. There's only about 7 weeks, so I just wanted something that would give me a bit of structure, and I was interested to see what it would look like. And it's fairly standard, I think, really. Only zone 2 runs, longer runs at the weekend. That medium long run that I did yesterday. And a few little intervals as well. Long run wise, today's is the longest. After this, it's kind of 3 weeks of backing off, which I don't know, I think you could probably do another one of these next weekend. So I'll see how I feel, and maybe I'll do a 2 to 2 hour 15 run, possibly on the trails or something. So I think what's going to hold me back in the December marathon is not so much speed, but speed endurance. How long I can hold, this kind of on the rivet pace. Speaking of which, as I'm talking, we've dropped off a little bit, so I'm going to close it off there. I would have put up my stats for the week, hopefully, on the screen earlier in the video. If I haven't, you can find me on Strava, and I will see you in a new video very soon. Happy running.